transmission. I just need to buy a torque converter. Yeah, Wingate and Pete were fucking like on one.
Torque converters for those have to be pretty cheap, right?
$150. I could have bought one from them, but it was like $350 for the same thing. I was like, nah, I'll just get one from O'Reilly's.
Thanks for telling us we're live.
That's usually how it works, right?
Yeah.
Here is your microphone.
Fuck off.
Fucking someone give this one a sandwich. Jesus Christ, there's some alcohol in his bloodstream.
What are you doing?
That I've already had.
Yeah,
I'm doing it wrong.
Firm wrong.
Are you on one tonight? You alright?
Me?
Is it a
No,
shitty
I'm
day?
good. I just have to work tomorrow. I'm not overly happy about that.
Well,
and I was given the option to work.
Give it
tomorrow.
another week or two and you won't have to work for like another 3 months.
No, I've got work all winter.
Well, I guess money is nice to have.
I mean, this year was shitty, so.
Money's better than...
Welcome to Dick's podcast.
Welcome to the podcast where Seth is bitching about making money.
As always.
Yeah, that's pretty much your MO.
Wait, oh, he's selling a hardtop to a Jeep.
What?
I'm currently looking for a piece of shit Jeep right now.
Why?
Why don't you buy a
For a
Grand...
four-wheeling
Why don't
rig
you
that
buy
I
a
don't
Grand
give a shit.
Cherokee?
Huh?
Why don't you just buy a Grand
No,
Cherokee?
I
Those
found a
things are
couple
cheap
of
as
them.
fuck.
No, I found one for $800 that I was gonna offer him $500 because the motor was blown. If I could get that, and then I was looking for a 4.0. You know what 4.0 is, right?
Yes,
Okay, good.
there's
Just fine.
4-liter V6s from Jeep.
Did you just say V6?
He always says that.
Sorry, they're inline sixes.
He
Inline
always-
sixes.
He always says that.
Inline sixes that Jeep has made forever.
No, I found one also on Marketplace that he wanted $500 for. I was gonna offer him $300, so it'd be like paying the $800 just for the Jeep if I could get it, and then swap motors. Training was good, rebuilt front end and all that kind of stuff. Boom, $800, piece of shit Jeep Grand Cherokee. Then I'm gonna have one for an off-road rig. That I don't give a flying fuck about if I destroy it or not.
Why does it have to be? Oh, it's a Grand Cherokee. Is that what you said?
It doesn't matter what kind of Jeep it is, but yeah, what I was looking at was Grand Cherokee.
You can buy them for like $2,000 with still decent. Like
No, I don't want to spend that money.
that's basically what you're spending already.
No, it's gonna be $800.
Oh,
It's gonna be $800.
you already have a motor?
No, he was
No,
looking
that okay. So the Jeep itself was $800 that
Yeah.
he wanted. I was gonna offer him $500. If I could get it for $500, I'd fucking go. There's a $500 Jeep that had a blown motor.
Mhm.
Found a motor.
Oh, you already okay.
He wanted $500 for. I was gonna offer him $300, $800.
Got
No,
it. I
no,
heard
no.
800 for each, and I was like, that's basically like just adding $400.
What the
for
bitch
a shitload of work.
on me for?
I agree.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
The fuck you calling me for?
I need somebody to come get me.
Come get you? You just fucking get pulled over?
Yeah.
You fucking serious?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Who is it?
Loveland Lake?
Yeah. What's your name of this road? Lock Mount. L-O-C-H Mount.
I just gotta text it.
And they gotta be drink free and be responsible for me for 8 hours. And you can take my truck so it doesn't get towed.
So we need 2 people.
So I need 2 people to come get you? Scott? Scott?
Yeah. No problem in it.
Scott?
I had a spare. For some reason, I just thought of it too. Like she wanted to play GTA.
I don't know who
And
that is.
yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
But I had a random like key for Xbox and my shit that I forgot that I would like with like a bundle. It came with a bundle of shit, so I just like never used it.
For what game?
GTA 5.
Nice. It's surprising that that game is still kind of relevant for how fucking long it's been out.
It's been out 7 years.
Right?
It's going. Who's that be? I don't know.
Taco Maniac.
Taco Maniac.
Taco Brain.
Yeah, it's still like one of the top selling games on Steam, like top 10, which is crazy.
It's wild, but to be honest though, for
See you guys later.
do you need
Okay.
you need help?
Maybe.
TBD. Yeah, well, there's also so much content that you get for, what is it, $30 now? $20 now?
Yeah.
I'll think about it. We need a couple more drinks first.
Yeah, this is the start of the scenario.
So
Also, why is that like a pretty crazy dare? Me and Avery have done this before.
that's wild, dude.
We've definitely slow danced together before. This is not the first time that's happened. You got it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, he'll come back in 30.
Just not that crazy to dare.
For $30, like even just playing through like the campaigns and the solo,
Well, and that's very fair on that.
the solo heists and stuff. Because you can do heists solo, can't you?
Yeah, but I think most of them are with people. I think there maybe it's 2 to 4. Maybe you have to have 2.
I thought there were campaign heists.
There might be, but there's still like the campaign itself, which I've never played, is quite long.
I played it, and I played it on Xbox and I played it on PC both times. I like got the game. I was like, I need to get my money's worth because at that point it was $60.
Yeah.
For $60.
Because you bought it on Xbox 360.
Yep.
And then then you moved into PC gaming.
Yep. But I would say that game is definitely worth that money, especially if I was getting into like gaming on a PC or just got my first console or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's a solid
so
game
worth it.
for sure. That like.
Hopefully they release a new one in the next year or so. Do they have you heard anything about plans for
There's been like hirings or whatever the past like year or so for like new developing game or whatever from Rockstar, but they haven't like announced anything. So
I think that's them though. They'll release one small teaser like a year in advance, and that's like all you hear.
that's just how Rockstar operates. And even with Red Dead 2, they didn't do anything. It got leaked a little bit, but like it didn't. They had no teasers, no nothing.
Which was a game that I thoroughly enjoyed watching, but not like I played it and I was like, this is fucking boring. But
Jack bought it for me, and I probably played like 10 hours, and I'm like, and then like he and I never linked up. It's definitely the kind of game that I play by myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't like RPGs at all. So it's like, I play like 10 hours online, and it's hard. Like it's not like GTA where like you can like get money from like random ass shit. Like to get money in that game is hard.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
buy
It's a very grindy game.
Anything takes forever.
And I think
It's crazy though. It's got 2 stories.
Yeah.
So like the storyline in online is different than the storyline in single player.
which I think they were again trying to just monetize it that much more, but also depending on whether or not you believe in like the Star Wars version of it's rewarding to earn characters versus like pay to win basically. But in my mind, people, if you played Red Dead 2 and you wanted Red Dead 2 to be a game where it felt like a single player game that happened to have multiplayer, that's what they did. Like for me, the times that I actually played the multiplayer, it didn't really feel like it was multiplayer unless there were random weird interactions. But I don't remember do you know how big the servers were on it?
Huge, honestly. There was probably like 3 times as many people that you could put on the map. The map is like 3 times the size of GTA 5 also.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, and you couldn't like go like across it like quickly because if you didn't, fast travel was too expensive.
Yep.
So like you just rode your fucking horse for like you literally just put an auto run and just sit there and like wait for it to like get halfway across the map. It was boring as fuck. Like,
It was literally a couple minutes of real time watching your horse move.
Yeah.
But honestly, as far as people that feel like that's RPG realism, and people that want an immersive experience but still have the small multiplayer like interactions,
it's one of those things where like they should just make like a fucking like flight sim, like use all that information they have from everything and just make an open world game on that shit.
That'd be cool.
And then it's real time, it's real places. I think it'd be cool like if the new GTA like use like that like scenario or like ultra massive, but like it's still gonna be smaller than Just Cause's map.
Yeah.
The only thing I've seen, like there was some like data leaks of that map, and it's like all of the worlds like combined has been like the previous ones. Like that's not that big.
Do you think it's to be more console friendly, or do you think that it's just
Well, the new consoles are coming out, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The new consoles are like faster than what I have here,
Yeah.
which is kind of fucking wild when you think
Right.
about that too. For $500, probably gonna get a 5900,
Cool.
and then, but like since parts are like unavailable, I was like, I wanted to get on the main board. Things the 570 is still the chipset for it. So they're not releasing new shit for it. It's just that's what it is. So it's like I want to hop in before like the prices went up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I got one on sale, like a gigabyte Pro Wi-Fi X570.
Yeah, I feel like development for GTA is geared towards.
Well, it's definitely geared towards console.
Yeah.
And again, the current game is so old, like now, but they keep making money on it. So like it's been like one of those things where they're not like, oh, we need to like keep doing it because people just keep fucking going online and paying all the money.
They'll add like another tenth of 1% of content, if that, like once every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And that's just enough to people like the die-hard players, and those are people that have spent a lot of money on the game typically too. Like you as a person and me, like I've spent $120 on GTA.
Yeah, I bought it, you know, when it
Because I
came out
bought
for
it
PC, what, like 2014?
Yeah.
And then I played probably 80, 90 hours of it,
Yeah.
but that's about it. Like, I guess it's not really my kind of game. Like, I like playing with those kind of games. Like, I played like through like all the Saints Rows. Like that one like interests me a little bit more because the storyline is silly and ridiculous. Like I don't know if you've ever played those games. The first like couple were like basically GTA knockoffs.
Yeah.
But like the third one, it kind of like was super fun. A lot of cool tie-ins. It was all that. And then the fourth one like kind of went off the rails. Like you were like the president of the United States, and then like you got abducted by aliens, and then you were in a simulation. Then you get like flying powers and like all this other shit. And then there was like a standalone DLC where like you go into like hell to like get your best friend who's dead to bring him back to life. But like there's like a bunch of cool weapons in that game, like the dildo fucking sword and shit.
Or the dildo bat.
But like in like the standalone DLC, it's Get Out of Hell. You could like get like a fucking like reclining chair like with rockets and shit. It's like they like went off the rails, and I kind of like that. Like the whole like it was an open world shit, but like off the rails.
Yeah. Just like having fun with it. I don't know if that's got the same replayability factor that GTA has.
It definitely doesn't.
Because it escalates very quickly, and then you're at a certain point where you're like, this is.
Well, and they only made it like co-op too, so like you could like play 2 players with it. You know, if they made like an online version of that, which they kind of did with like, I mean, I guess like Agents of Mayhem, it was kind of the same like realm, but like I think it was 4-player co-op is all it was.
Yeah.
But if they made like an online version, that game would be so fun, like way fun.
It would definitely be interesting. Definitely be interesting.
Yeah, it would just be outrageous, especially like if they made like the 4th one, like again where they had like superpowers and shit. That shit would have been fucking wild.
It's gonna put me on my ass.
Yeah. Again, I'm like 2.5, 3 hours of sleep, so.
I was up till 3 and I woke up at 6. Not for any good reason. I was just playing RuneScape.
I got kind of drunk last night. I drank like a 12 pack, like straight to myself with no food, so.
That'll do it.
I was kind of drunk at like 4 in the morning.
Just sitting. What did you do?
Kate came over and we just hung out and just watched music videos and just be silly. But yeah, it was just like I was just up, and that, like I woke up like on my own like before my alarm went off. I was like, "Fuck you!" And then I had tons of energy all day. Like I still like feel good.
Yeah, I feel great. I mean, I'm gonna crash in probably like 2 or 3 hours, but
Yeah.
for now I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of tired today. Like right about like an hour ago. Like when you like texted me, and then you're coming. I was like, and again, I haven't heard from Travis, so I don't know what the fuck he is.
Why don't you just call him real fast?
It's just good.
Call his ass. Call his ass today.
He forgot to tell me. He texted me like a little bit ago, 10 minutes ago. Can't make it tonight. Cool, thank you.
No biggie.
It is what it is.
So, Seth's driving buddy got a DUI?
I guess so.
That sucks. Didn't know they gave you the option to have someone come pick you up.
Basically the idea is like when they do that, it's like you get, It's the same thing that if you would get like in the drunk tank, you just get picked up and like you have to like I've had to do it for like a couple people. Like you go pick them up, you sign them the fuck out, and then you're responsible for them for like the next like 12 hours or whatever.
I didn't get that option.
No?
No. They put me in there, and then I was in there till like morning. It was really weird.
That's interesting.
Like I think it was like I got picked up at like 2:15 or so.
I mean,
No, it was a Tuesday. It was like 1:15. And I remember the girls were closing down the Nard and watching me do my field sobriety test. And then they took me to the station in AdBlue, and then they took me right to police services on Timberline and Prospect.
yeah, over to LCDC.
Yeah, but never.
They never gave you the option of that. Like I picked up like half a dozen people.
Never gave me an option.
Interesting.
Literally, they put me in a cell, and I sat there for probably 4 or 5 hours until the morning, and then they let me call someone. Because it was.
Well, it may have just been like in like the shift change or whatever in the middle of it.
That could have been it, but like.
But like I've definitely like,
That's shitty.
especially like on a Tuesday, but they may just like do it again because that way they'll have like transfer him to LCDC because it's in Loveland, so they have to go to LCDC, and then they don't want them there because of the COVID shit anyways.
Yeah.
So I think they're just like you
That
have
could
the
be it,
option
too.
Yeah. Where they're like you can do this yourself. Where like that like they have just the paperwork there to do that.
Yeah.
And it's definitely early enough for that kind of shit, but that's shitty.
Taylor Gable picked me up
Yeah.
because I just started going through my phone. It's like 5:30, 6 in the morning. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to work soon," and I was like, "Can you pick me up before I go to work?" She's like, "Yeah." So that was funny. And then what's really funny is about a year later, when I went to go get my license back, she was the one that drove me to go get my license.
Yeah, you might just got that time frame where it's like a shift change scenario, and it was just over because it takes forever for goddamn shift change.
It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
why?
like it's not that big of a fucking place. Like I don't know if you ever even left booking at that point.
I didn't.
Yeah, I mean you were probably you were also like maybe you were just like you were close enough like because you barely got a DUI.
0.143.
Really?
It got dropped in court.
Oh.
That's the thing. But 2 beers apparently will do that.
Again, did you eat?
I don't remember. It's been 7.5 years.
It has been a long ass time. Was it the same year that I broke my legs? 2013?
So no, wait. I was 22. So math.
You turned 30.
Yes, it was 2013.
Okay. I didn't think it was that same year. That year was a rough year for like a lot of people. Because again, it'd be 8 years in January when I broke my legs. Just it feels like 100,000 years ago.
It was like a long time ago.
And I'm sure like your Dewey like looks that way too, like forever
Yeah.
ago.
I was like, wait, that happened. Like I still like think about it obviously when I'm making good choices and otherwise, but
Oh yeah.
man, I was really fucking young and dumb. Even just.
I just like how you were going to park your car, and you were just going to the Nard to park your car and get a ride, and that's what's like sucked with the scenario. Like you just didn't want to leave it where it was, and you were parking it at your scenario. And I mean, obviously now he's like, don't give a shit, just like leave when it. Well, and that was also before like Lyft and Uber and shit was like.
Yeah, I should have just left it there and got a ticket.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like you get one free one anyways, so you kind of fucked up.
I think that car already had one.
Oh, fair.
But the RS was also loud and not the slowest vehicle, so I got a speeding ticket, a failure to signal lane change ticket, in addition to the WAI ticket. I definitely signaled my lane change, but I definitely did not obey the speed limit.
Yeah, I mean that's just what it is. I mean that's like the problem. Like like I will never condemn like drunk driving, and that's like especially anymore. Like like when I was like 21, like we didn't have taxis here, we didn't have shit. So like the thing is like if it was like you know, you had to like go like beyond where like you could walk or whatever, which is stupid now when you think about it. You're like, oh, I can walk 4 miles.
Yeah.
Like when you're like, sure, you don't want to. And it's like pretty fun to drive a fucking car when you're shitty.
I'll be alright.
It's pretty fun to drive when you're shitty. Like that's just
It is.
that's like the hardest thing about it.
dangerous.
It's so terrible. Like don't do it. But like it's really fun to do it.
Yeah.
And that's like the biggest problem. It's like with all of it in general. It's like it's so much fucking fun.
What if we started built a racetrack where we can get really shitty cars that run, let people drink as much as to an extent, people drink a decent amount, put limiters on the cars for like 20 or 30 miles an hour type of thing, and then just be like, go have fun.
I mean, my dad's got 35 acres, and like I've always said like when he like, because he's so like apprehensive of like doing shit with the property, which is ridiculous to me. But like when he's gone, like you know, because the way the property line is fucking stupid too. Like where the house is like the corner of it, and then like it looks like Nevada like going out.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking dumb. Like I don't know whoever designed this plaza of land, idiots. But I was like when he like you know eventually like passes away or whatever, like him and David like gone and would like inherit the house. Like we're putting a fucking go-kart track out there like for sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost a lot of money, but it's gonna be well worth it.
Definitely find some investors, or I mean, just gotta work on the infrastructure to get out there. Could also very easily make it like a paintball,
Right. Well, the things that you know
You can do
they
both.
have the off-road
You can do
track
both.
out there now too.
paintball and
Yeah, go-karts.
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 We do Travis, come play.
But
Come hang out.
yeah, no. So like, if we put it like way out there, and the things like they already have like you know toy car racing out there. It's like the roads are like decent enough to, and they were going to pave the County 7 out there before the floods happened 5 years ago. Like it was like they were like all the equipment was out there to pave the road, and then they had to put all that money into fucking 34.
Fixing it.
But you know, and I would guess in the next 10 to 15 years it'll be paved at some point.
And business stuff, winking face.
Business stuff.
Scamway!
But yeah, so like it'll be one of those things where like, you know, once that's all out there and like we can like, you know, drag a fucking road that's farther out into the fucking, you know, into the field basically and this set up a fucking sweet go-kart track. I mean it'd be cool to like have like a drift car scenario too, but that would be like a much bigger like scenario than I would want to put out
That'd
there.
be a lot of acreage.
Well, I mean again it's 35 acres.
That'd be like 15 of them.
Yeah, so nothing else happens on the land.
How close are the neighbors?
To the house, like close, but like when you like are way out and like you're near like the train tracks and I-25 and shit like that. So if you only did it during the day, you'd be good to go.
That's what I was thinking. Is the neighbors ready to complain?
Well, in the go-karts thing, we'll just do electric ones.
Yeah.
Like K2.
Well,
Or K1's.
if we do,
I keep saying K2 because like K2 is like all like the other shit, like skateboarding and like all that like fucking shit.
drunk driving. Just saying.
Well, if we have go-karts, we totally can.
No, that seems dangerous. But like you take like cars that already have like their okayish roll cages and they're shitty junked cars anyways in the first place, like then we just figure out a way to limit them to a certain mile an hour, like
Well, I mean, again, this is going to be in years' time. It's going to be like a while down the road.
or demolition derbies. And that could be a way to
I don't find demolition derby fun at all.
but drunk people like being
I don't know, like, and that's just one of those things. Like, I just want to like build one out there, anyways, just because it'd be fucking rad.
Yep. I'm trying to think what else. Like I said, like if you did go-karts and paintball, I think that'd be really popular.
Yeah, it's something like for the future and stuff like that. Like, you know, like again, my dad's like so apprehensive to like start that kind of shit. Where I'm like, it's not that much shit. Stop. Stop.
Stop. That's one of those pistons that
It's a connecting rod.
connecting rod that
Yeah.
Evan dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
For why?
Just because it's cool to have one that's like this fucking big. It weighs like probably 200 works in a place that like refurbishes like power generation engines. So like,
We talked about this. It's probably like a really big generator or something.
yeah, so it is a really big generator. Like so, like I think they're 20 cylinders, and like they have individual heads and like all the shit. Like they're just humongous. Yeah.
Do they all have individual cams? How many cams?
I don't know honestly on that one if it has individual cams or not. I would guess it does, just based on the length of it. You would have just overhead cam scenarios. Like, I guess he sent me pictures of that shit. I could probably find it. But yeah, he kind of wanted to like send me like a few more, like a fucking table out of the deal.
Sounds like an expensive fucking table.
Well, if they're free,
Expensive and heavy.
it'd be very heavy.
Very heavy table.
Well, you can also make it to where you can like take it apart as the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it'd be expensive.
It'd still be heavy in individual parts, regardless of whether or not you took it apart.
Yeah. But just like an example, like how many they go through all the time. Like, these are like pallets of the shit. So we can find a head one here. He's also like doing the turbos and shit too. And they're fucking huge.
Turbos. I remember we talked.
Fucking huge. But I mean, like that's a picture of like the engine itself.
Yeah.
Like
They're
there's
like V12, like 12 feet long.
yeah.
Oh wait, is it more than 12 cylinders?
I think they're 20. They're 20 cylinders. Where the fuck? This man sends me lots and lots of pictures. I'm actually surprised he's not actually on here. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was a 16. Dun 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 dun. There's so much garbage in here. The amount of data that Facebook stores has got to be insane. This bowl is kicking my ass. This bowl is kicking my ass. Nope, they're push rod. So it must have 2 cams. They're push rods. It must have 2 cams on each side.
Okay.
Which I guess would make sense as like a.
Okay.
Or if like they're multi-piece because they're just the engines are so fucking huge. But yeah, like tons of individual heads. I guess they're 16 cylinders. So that'd be 16. Need the restroom as well. As well.
Welcome to Everest Podcast. How's the business stuff going, Travis? In quotations, business stuff. unexpected error has occurred. Yeah.
Yeah. This fucking week has been fucking crazy. Goddamn election garbage.
Right?
Dude, like. Dead.
I'm
Fucking dead.
predicting a decent Biden win.
Well, at this rate with fucking Pennsylvania and Georgia. Yeah.
Pennsylvania, Georgia, and probably Nevada.
Yeah. I mean, they're all pretty close, but like, it's looking again as I count like this mostly Democratic votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's that like declared victory thing like earlier was
Just a Trumper thing. A Trump thing to do.
yeah, I just don't understand. He's gonna be such a pain in the ass. It's gonna go on for fucking weeks. With fucking lawsuits and dumb bullshit because he's fucking stupid like that.
Luckily, all of the courts have been like, no, sorry, that's not happening. Other than the voting observation stuff in Pennsylvania, where they were like, yeah, you can watch, like that's fine, fuck off.
Yeah, I just it's not gonna change like the outcome at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I remember like the last time like we had like the recount in Florida, like was it 2000?
It was the second Bush election, I think.
Was it the second one? So 04?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it would have been Kerry Bush. So yeah,
Yeah.
04. That was the first one that I could vote in, and it was like, God damn, this fucking dumb shit.
It took like a month. I think it took 2 weeks, but still.
It was
Long
fucking
goddamn
forever.
Long goddamn time. So I know you don't really care about fantasy foosball,
No, definitely not.
but just to provide,
I like foosball, but not football.
I miss foosball.
I miss foosball too.
Just provide some context on how well my team has been doing this year. I've had 4 number 1 players through like multiple weeks, like number 1 in the league for their position.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them have been placed on injured reserve to the point where they're like not coming back this season, and then 2 others have been out for 6 weeks or more.
Are you still doing good or not?
I'm even. I'm 4-4.
I mean, that's fair.
That's just fucking wild to me. Like that. Like honestly, compared to like other seasons where typically you have 1 player that gets injured a week, I've had like 5 or 4.
The fantasy thing, like people get like into that shit like crazy.
I
Like,
don't think about it like too much. Like everyone, obviously, I check my roster like every 2 or 3 days just to be like,
Right.
okay, I need to like make sure that my players are ready for Thursday and Sunday and then hopefully Monday. But like, holy shit, I'm like constantly like being like, oh fuck, I have to like reshuffle all these fucking things around and make trades and just like shit that I've never had to do.
So you're like a lot more involved than you want to be.
Yes. I have picked up and dropped 32 players this season, and last time I played, it was at like 12.
And that was like the whole season.
Correct. And we're only on week 9.
Well, I mean, this is a fucking like wild year, anyways. Because like now, like the whole like let's say like the Broncos, like their whole like administrative staff has it, like the whole of it. Like
Yeah.
John Elway has it, like everybody has it,
Yeah.
like. And
Oh
it's,
yeah, that's excluding COVID stuff too. There was, I think it was week 5 where I had 4 players that were ineligible to play because of COVID, or like because of they were just not playing that week. They gave them an automatic bye, and so I literally had to drop like a team like 10 minutes before the game started because they made the announcement like 2 hours before the game. And that was the situation where like I like put it in our group chat. I was like, hey, like if you guys could not pick up this player, I had to drop them because I had to fill that spot. And then of course Seth just decides, fuck you, and takes mistakes that it was a defense. But the funny thing is, I was like, I'm going to curse you, and I'm going to tell you right now that that defense is going to fuck the rest of your season up. And they've averaged like 60% below the other games. Like literally, like it's just like you're literally
The curse of Avery.
yes,
on
you've
football.
been cursed.
Yeah, again, like the fantasy leagues of like anything, I'm just like not on board. I understand because like it increases like engagement like a lot.
Yeah.
You know, when they started like doing like the fantasy thing like about 10 years ago when it started like really like, popping off, it made like football, NFL in general, like the ratings went up like 35%, 40%, just from people doing that. And so like engagement's like great, obviously for them. I find it so like. It's a statistics game like the whole way through. Like
Absolutely. For me, it's one of those things where like I don't love watching football, but I don't mind it. And for me, I'm typically downtime on Sundays, and I'm literally playing on my computer all day. So if I can have something on my third monitor where I'm a little bit engaged, rather than just trying to find something on YouTube that entertains me, and I can do the pirated red zone, NFL red zone, where basically all you watch is the touchdown, like
Right.
when teams are in the red zone. It's amazing because then I watch basically all of the games, 14 games of that Sunday, in the same time that it would take me to watch one,
that's fair.
which is awesome. And then adding the fantasy element adds a little bit because then you're like, oh, I actually give a shit about a team that like I wouldn't normally care about, and or especially if you say, for example, you like the Denver Broncos, you're like, well, the season's fucked. Why would I watch football anymore?
Right.
But if you have, one of the running backs on the Broncos, you're more likely to watch it because you actually give a shit about the Broncos' performance. Whereas before, you're like, they're not gonna make the playoffs. Why do I care?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's I don't care. I watched a little bit of the CSU game last night.
I didn't even know they were playing. This
Yeah, they're playing no crowd at all, and they were here. It was border war. So like it was the first time since like 2015 they beat Wyoming.
Huh.
Yeah, and like we turned it on like almost all the way through the first half, and like we were like 24-7,
Okay.
and I was like, that's surprising.
That's CSU, so just expect that to change very quickly.
I mean I think it was like 34-24 at the end.
It gets scared. Like, I feel like every CSU game I went to with Madwire, I think I went to like 6 when we sat in the box. Every single one we were like really ahead, and they just got decimated in the second half.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like, especially like last year that was the case like heavily, like there was like heavy leads and like then either blown apart or came close. And college football's like that anyways. Like typically one team will start heavy unless you got like two like Clemson and fucking Alabama or whatever like playing together. Like that's the only time it's close. They still like score like ridiculous. College football's not about defense at all.
No.
Like whatsoever.
There's usually one or two really standout defensive players on each team, and then otherwise it's just don't get flags and don't fuck up too bad.
Yeah, it's fine. When you're having like 50-point games and things like that, like that do not happen in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, with the NFL too, like there's so many less teams, and like college football in this country is like kind of crazy because like there's stadiums for like college, like when they were rebuilding like the Minnesota Vikings like stadium, they were like doing that one.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing at the stadium of University of Minnesota, I think.
Yeah, it's huge.
And it's
probably
like they couldn't fill it.
It's bigger. It's like 110,000.
Yeah, they couldn't fill.
And the professional stadium is like 67,000.
Yeah, it's kind of wild how that works out.
But
Like,
I guess
you
when
know,
you
like
have,
Texas and
well,
fucking.
it also helps when you have a student body that gets basically like slightly above free tickets, where they're $10 or $15 a piece,
Yeah.
and that's what you do as a student body. You go.
Yeah,
fucking
when
party
you go to
and
school
watch
that's 50, 60,000 people, plus all the other people that are around
the
there.
entire town and the surrounding towns, like the town's shut down.
Yeah. Well, and that's always like crazy. Like you look at like high school football in like Texas and like Alabama, like down south, like all that shit. High school football is crazy.
It's just as big as like CSU's college program.
Yeah.
Bigger.
They're generally larger, which is that's wild to me too. Like where people like they pay for that shit to make them that big, and that's whereas like people are bitching about like the stadium we built here that's like also like other shit, and it's like calm down. Like there's a reason why you put it on fucking campus.
I like get it, but I don't.
I do. Again, it actually has to do with student engagement. When it's on campus, they're more likely to go. So when you have more people like going, and you get televised, like all the games are supposed to be televised now. Then I was like, you know, why we gotta watch the Wyoming game? Whereas like 5 years ago, you'd maybe get one game.
But like, I get that you can televise it, but otherwise, like, people in this, it's like so low, like capacity at the games.
And the thing is, again, it's just consistently trying to get more like eyeballs on the campus.
It'll grow over time.
And that's kind of the idea.
I get it.
Which a lot of locals around here like do not like it.
I miss Hughes. Hughes was so fun because you could actually go and tailgate.
You can tailgate.
It's not the same.
No, they open it all up so you can like park it all out there.
I get it. It's just not the same thing. Tailgating it at Hughes was amazing because like it was like the entire fucking parking lot was just like tailgating. There were grills and like whereas here it's like, it feels like it's a majority of the people that go and like at least show up before the game are just older people who are just showing up.
Well,
early, like,
you won't have the students tailgating is the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and there is that too. Plus, like there was like far less like supervision basically out there. Like
nobody gave a shit.
Yeah, you just kind of did whatever you wanted to do.
If you could walk through the gates of Hughes, like you were in, but like that was it. That was the only requirement. You could be not even be able to say your own name, but if you could walk, you were in.
I mean, I've been to 3 games at this current stadium, and I like the stadium a bunch. Like we've been there for like other shit too, like you know, with Fortitude, like to run through that shit's pretty cool. That's how you finish, is like right there, and it's.
Reminds me of what stadium did we run through for our the inflatable 5K?
Dick's.
Yeah, Dick's.
Yeah, that was a cool thing. I've ran through that one a few times too, like with so I've done like the color. Were you at the color run with us? Did the color run there? There was one other one that I did a run there. Night Nation, I think. Where it's just a bunch of DJs and shit, like on like every corner of the fucking 5K.
Yeah, cool.
And that's like the cool thing about like Dick's in that like scenario too, is like they're like, you know, since they only do fucking soccer out there.
Yeah. All right, you're back.
Still not drunk enough yet.
I need to slow dance again.
It's been longer. It's been longer than. Wait, it's been 30 minutes.
Roughly.
You're 8 minutes slow. When you already slow danced, you missed it. Sorry. Rough life.
Yeah, I mean it's been like one of those like things where like you know, since all they do, like they need other shit to like fill it in place.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an event organizer,
I mean, obviously the Karaoke Sports stuff doesn't give a shit. They have so much cash they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause they own what? They own the Avs, the Patio Center, the Nuggets, the LA Rams, and Colorado Rapids, and they own Arsenal like full out in like England. So like yeah, they have like
too much money.
all sorts of cash. And the dude's like
hundreds of billions.
yeah, they have it's an absurd amount of money. And the guy that runs is like he's like pretty chill overall. He doesn't like really give a shit. But I mean that's kind of sports teams other than the Broncos here. Also, there's like no care.
Taco, you need to tweet at us slow dancing with yourself. And if you slow dance with yourself, we'll slow dance again. But you missed it. We slow danced in about 20 minutes ago. So get away from the VOD, or you gotta send us a tweet of you slow dancing yourself. So rough life. You wanna go out?
I mean, we could. We could go for a couple hours because they close at 11.
It was 10 now.
It might be 10, but we can go out like we can cut it here in like a little like to hit an hour. I mean, we don't have to. It's just only the two of us, and we can go do whatever.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Grover, Washington.
finish up this bowl and drink a beer. And I'm down. I'm down to fucking. We're gonna if we do it early enough, we can walk over and get scooters and do it.
There's a scooter in your driveway.
It's been there since last week, and that was one that died there. Travis is riding it, and it died there. It's literally been there for a week now. If it's there for like another week, I'm taking that battery out and putting the e-bike. Because I think that it's so dead that like it's not pulling out GPS stuff. Because like when it died, it just died. So, but if that's the case, like I'm just gonna what are they gonna do? It's been sitting on my fucking property for fucking a week.
It's mine now. That's too much for me.
Alright. Well, we just fucking cut it. Fuck it. It's 45. It's a slow night. Get some shenanigans in the middle of it, so. But yeah.
You and I.
I'm down.
This has been the abbreviated version of Dick's Patio podcast. Thank you for joining us.
There's like not people here.
It's been Avery and Dick, and we've talked about everything from video games to fantasy football to why do and don't you shave your man parts. So it's been wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Tune in.